Greetings, lovely Cancer. This is your reading for this new moon in Scorpio, 4th and 5th of this month, November. So we're just doing pulling a few cards to begin with, and do look out, and cross watch is obviously most welcome, and Cancer, if you do know what your moon is in, your ascendant, Jupiter and Venus, do check those out too. There's some interesting astrological things going on this month, quite difficult, quite trying, I feel. I always watch the astrology podcast with Chris Brennan. It's very, very informative, not being an astrologer myself. So check that out if you are so interested. Right, so let's get into it. Cancer, this is for you at this time. We're looking kind of fired up here, but we'll talk about it a little bit more in a minute. Wow. And moving forward, the popular term of the day. Moving forward for Cancer from this point. Just get one card, please. Got one card. Okay. Wow, it's looking really highly charged. Excuse me. We start our overarching energies for you, Cancer. We have the Prince of Wands, a very hot and cold character. This could be aspects of yourself or someone in your sphere, someone in your life, or even actually general atmosphere at the moment around you, because this is in a position of overarching energies. Those energies, we don't feel them tangibly. We feel them through our shell, through our Cancerian self. So fire and ice, hot and cold. Quite, in the Thoth deck, it is described as quite a sexual sort of card. Now, your choice here, it's interesting. So, it could be aspects of yourself. You're feeling quite fired up, experimental, because it is an experimental adolescent kind of character. It could be someone in your life, of course. You could be venturing into, making some decisions, taking some risks. In the position of choice, we venture up the rung of the ladder with the Knight of Wands in the position of choice. Look, it's sort of like being swept away, swept along and with large levels of passion, Cancer, with these cards. The Knight moves incredibly quickly without much thought at all. Its expression as it just floods out like flame, impulsivity, all of that thing. Maybe you've been presented with something and it's like, yeah, well, I'm just going to go for this. I'm just going to do it. And I don't think you can go wrong here, actually, because traits for ease, we like to be impulsive, right? It's good sometimes. It's good to take risks. I mean, if no one ever took a risk, well, like someone had to invent a rocket, didn't they? Or someone had to invent a fridge. I mean, that's a risk. I just don't think you can really go too wrong here. Though there is an indication when we see traits for ease in this, whatever this is for you, these are incredibly general readings, Cancer. But we have the beautiful Magus, the magician. We need to... we need to be, like, it's one thing to take risks and be quite passionate and impulsive, But at the same time, we need to be clever about it, you know. This is very, very Geminian card, Mercury, Thoth, messenger of the gods. Are we acting for our own good, or are we being sort of compelled to act impulsively by others? Where are we at here? So it's good to have this, actually, to have this incredibly clever ability to be in two different worlds at once. To have this as backup. Interesting, Cancer. It's interesting. We will clarify. Moving forward, after all this hot, fiery stuff, and the insight and skill and acumen of the magician, we move forward, to the Empress. This beautiful card of nurturing love, unconditional love at its height. It's a mothering aspect. It's like Cancer's expressing some new things in new ways here. We will clarify now because it is quite unusual. It's got quite an unusual feel to it, like it's split. And what you're being presented with is almost like not what you naturally consider, is just what I feel here. And I don't think it's even because you're a Cancer. I mean, it's just that's the feeling of this reading. That's the feeling. So let's clarify the Prince of Wands here in the overarching energies. It's sort of on and off. Maybe there's a level of it. What was that? Level of indecision. On and off, on and off. Maybe family influence. We get the 10, the 10 of discs. This is a great card. I mean, we see the value in our family and where we've come from, where we come from. The values that we have, all of that family history, familial bonds, our loyalties to that. There's a split here somehow. A strange sort of split. I do feel for some, could be for some particular Cancer out there that that you're having to deal with whatever it is here, or make choices, decisions based on something that doesn't align with you anymore. There's something about that. But on the other hand, there could be something about, you're making different decisions, acting it out in different ways because you just have let loose, and you do have the support of the people around you, your family, your friends, all of that. It's interesting. We deal with things, though, in the 10 of discs. There are things that we maybe confront because it is the end of a cycle as well. There are elements of our past, whether that be past lives, whatever you believe in, or in this life, that certain things that we confront that maybe did not sit well with us in regards to family issues, values, loyalties. Let's have a look at the Knight of Wands, please. This could be for just some person out there who would know. Yeah, I was thinking before, like there's some removal, like there's some... You're either going against the grain of what you would normally do, whatever the scenario or situation is, Cancer, you're doing it in quite a different way. You're dealing with it in a different way. You're dealing with it for once and for all, is what I hear. For the Knight of Wands, this impassioned, impulsive, more so, impulsive character. We have the Eight of Cups. The Eight's been cards of the mind. Cups, of course, the emotions. There is a level of detachment here. If it's not literally walking away from something, it is emotional detachment, not disassociation, just a level of detachment, which if you are dealing with a Knight of Wands and it's challenging, it's difficult for you, having the 8 here is a godsend. To be able to emotionally detach, to view it, to deal with it, to interact with it with a level of with a level of detachment, but with a large level of an impersonal approach. So it's not personal, it's just impersonal. It doesn't mean that there aren't emotions around it. You know what I mean, Cancer? It's very interesting here. I do think it's something to do with family, or characters within a family here. If we look at the Magician, traits for ease for you, Cancer, the Magician, walking in 2 different worlds. Maybe what your life is not what you grew up in, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. And it's like you get to translate that somehow you translate this. Clarify the Magician, please. Clarify the Magician for Cancer. Far too many cards. Magician, please. Ooh. Look, it's interesting, Oh, what do we got? Wow, we're just sort of, okay, so this is interesting. So we've got 3 cards that come out to clarify the Magician here, which is a directive, like traits for ease, Magician. We need to be fluid. We need to, move between 2 different worlds is what we seem to be doing, Cancer. Here we have the 5 of Cups. Yes, a card of melancholy, disappointment. But you see what, you've got the 2 cups behind you. And in fact, in the 8 of Cups, you could say the cloaked figure goes searching for those 2. And that's what, it doesn't mean that you don't feel sadness because of the 3 spilt. The memories of disappointment, in the past. I think it's like a revisiting. I mean, it's like revisiting family or something. It's like a nightmare for some Cancer out there. This is just what I'm getting. With that, though, we have the 6 of Discs. Beautiful balance and harmony here. This is about great generosity. So whether you're involved back in with the family, I just get that. It's just like, sorry, it's not going to be, it's not going to relate to a lot of people back in the family, dealing with family stuff. Great generosity here. Maybe you're getting them out of a hole or whatever. I don't know. It's really quite strong. But the 6 of Discs is a wonderful, generous card that is like, well, I know what I just offer out here freely comes back to me. I know this because I've seen it, because I experienced that. It's a really beautiful card, and we get the 10 of Cups. I think there's a great overcoming of something whether it was a kind of like a homecoming, and then you're dealing with this old shit that you've always sort of dealt with, but you're coming in as someone with who's really pulling others out of a hole, whether that's financial or whatever it is, and you're doing it with great grace and with a large level of unconditional love with the Empress, is only to be seen, to be admired. Can we get a clarifier here for the Empress, please? This is pretty wild, Cancer. It's quite specific. Look, and there are certain cards that just, for this new moon in Scorpio do keep coming up in readings. Empress. Look, the Empress does not, is fecund, fertile, a mother figure, creative in the way of loving as well, we seem to have overcome something here by returning. I do see this as a returning of sorts, someone that's returned to the family place, to the family dynamic, to something that they've been away from for a long time, and something that is quite incongruous to where they are at. So this is only going to relate maybe to an odd person out there, the odd person. I do see this entire reading as that. We get to the Empress moving forward. We see whether structure has been limiting, or you've been given insight here into your own personal self-limitations. But I do see that over time that you overcame that, and now you're actually, it's like the old interpretation, of the Hierophant as being the church, or those structures that control us. Over time you've understood that, often institutions and all of that, they are very controlling and limiting. But you understood the difference between that and your own limitations that you place on yourself. That was basically the summation of your healing. Here we get the star, and that healing has allowed you to return to deal with whatever this is that you've dealt with. It's really amazing, Cancer. It's really amazing. I think we'll just leave it at that. It's not going to be something that resonates for everyone. Obviously, never does out there. Let's get a Brian Frood Pixie and Fairy card. Just one card. We get the 6 of the Singer of Connection. This is a beautiful card. It's about, our connectors, actually, our connections, obviously, with people. And that even if it's an incongruent connection, like families often, it can be, we're still connected. And we can overcome things. We can, I don't know, I don't know where this is coming from, but anyway, it's coming. Journey map card from my own deck. Let's just see one card for Cancer, please. just to top this reading off, just one card, please. Get it to jump. Jumpy, jump, jump. Yeah, the messenger. The messenger. This beautiful gilt, golden-winged child comes to remind you about your childhood dreams. It is about messages coming through. It's about reminders. I think you've had to return into and facing aspects of growing up, certain personalities in certain environment, and you've faced it, but you've realized that, especially with the messenger here, that your childhood dreams, of which you have pursued and have come to fruition for you, you fought for that, Cancer. It's very interesting reading. And we'll just get a Kim Cran's Animal Spirit card because it's such a beautiful deck. Cancer. Such a beautiful deck. Let's see. You've worked hard at this. Not only at the revisitation, but actually moving your way through life. You've worked hard thus far. We get the otter, this gorgeous. I love otters. I love them. And I think I saw it on Graham Norton. The amazing actor, Benedict Cumberbatch, actually looks quite a lot like an otter. It's quite interesting. But they're amazing animals. Tool users to crack open those shelf, whatever things they crack open. Beautiful, 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 hardworking, gorgeous thing. Thanks, Cancer. I hope there was something, you got something out of this reading. And we'll be in next time for this partial lunar full moon eclipse in Taurus on the 19th. And have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time and take good care. Thanks, Cancer. Bye.